Welcome to Motivational Humanity. You are not alone.
Have you ever felt like your body and mind aren't keeping up with your life? That no matter what you try, energy, focus, and health feel just out of reach? Today, we're going to explore how to take control, not with one-size-fits-all advice, but with biohacking and wellness strategies personalized for you and the stage of life you're in. Slow, reflective pace. Let me tell you a story about Lisa. Lisa is 48. She used to pride herself on doing it all: career, family, community. But slowly her body began sending whispers, then shouts. Her sleep was restless, her energy unpredictable, her mood swings unmanageable. At first, she ignored it. After all, she thought, everyone her age feels this way, right? But one evening, after missing yet another yoga class because she simply didn't have the energy, she sat down and said to herself, "I can't keep going like this. I need to understand my body," and that was the beginning of her journey into biohacking and personalized wellness. She didn't chase trends or follow cookie-cutter advice. Instead, she explored her own biology, her nutrition, her sleep cycles, and the subtle cues her body was giving her. She discovered what energizes her, what depletes her, and how she could structure her life to thrive, not just survive. Your body is constantly talking to you, but most of us have learned to tune out the whispers long before they become shouts. Every ache, every afternoon slump, every restless night is a message, an invitation to pay attention. And here's the thing, it's not about perfection or fixing yourself immediately. It's about showing up with curiosity, leaning in to notice what's really happening, and being willing to face the truth without judgment. Vulnerability shows up when you admit that you don't have all the answers, when you acknowledge that maybe, just maybe, your body has been trying to tell you something for years and you didn't listen. Listening deeply to your body is like opening a conversation with an old friend you've ignored. It's not always comfortable. Sometimes it's downright inconvenient. Maybe it tells you that you need more sleep, more movement, or different nutrition. Maybe it asks you to slow down, to stop pushing through, to pay attention to emotional and mental signals you've been dismissing. And when you listen, really listen, you start to understand that your health is not a one-size-fits-all checklist. What works for your neighbor, your sister, or that wellness influencer you follow online may not work for you. This is where the power of self-awareness comes in. When you honor what your body is saying, you reclaim a kind of freedom most people never experience. You begin to make choices rooted not in guilt or comparison, but in self-respect and understanding. You recognize patterns, you notice triggers, and slowly, almost imperceptibly, you start designing your life in a way that aligns with your unique needs. And that, my friends, is the beginning of real, sustainable wellness. The kind that grows stronger as you grow older, because it is built on attention, presence, and a deep connection to yourself. Biohacking isn't about extremes or chasing the latest trends. It's about awareness, curiosity, and experimenting with your own body and mind in a way that feels safe and empowering. So often, we approach wellness with a sense of urgency or guilt, as if missing a workout, a supplement, or a miracle habit somehow means we've failed. But the truth is, biohacking starts with kindness, not perfection. It starts with asking yourself honest questions. What actually gives me energy? What makes me feel depleted? What restores me, body and soul? Vulnerability shows up here in a very real way. It's saying, I don't know what works for me yet, and being willing to try, fail, and adjust without judgment. It's about giving yourself permission to experiment. Maybe you try a new sleep routine, only to realize it doesn't fit your rhythm. Maybe you explore intermittent fasting or a new form of movement, only to discover your body responds differently than you expected. That's not failure. That's learning. That's listening. That's paying attention to your own unique blueprint, rather than following someone else's. And here's the beauty of it. When you approach biohacking with awareness rather than guilt, you build a relationship with your body that is rooted in respect, trust, and connection. You start noticing patterns you never saw before. You see how your mood shifts with nutrition, how energy ebbs and flows with sleep, how stress impacts not just your mind, but your very cells. Each small observation becomes a tool, each experiment a step toward mastery over your own health. This is how you turn wellness from a set of rules into a deeply personal, empowering practice. One that evolves with you, embraces your stage of life, and allows you to thrive on your own terms. As we move through life, our bodies, minds, and even our emotional landscapes are constantly evolving. What nourished us in our 20s may no longer sustain us in our 40s or 50s. This is where personalized wellness becomes not just helpful, but essential. It's about recognizing that your stage of life is not a limitation, it's a guide. It tells you what you need now, what your priorities should be, and what habits will actually serve you today, rather than holding on to strategies that once worked but no longer fit. Tailoring your wellness means paying attention to the subtle signals your body sends and honoring them instead of dismissing them. It's about understanding that your metabolism, your energy patterns, your sleep cycles, and even your emotional resilience change over time, and that adjusting your approach is not a concession, but a form of radical self-respect. Vulnerability shows up here when you allow yourself to admit, I'm not the same person I was 5, 10, or 20 years ago, and when you embrace that truth without shame. Connection is central to this process. It's not just about tuning into your own body, but about connecting with the wisdom of your lived experience. Every choice you make, what you eat, how you move, how you rest, is informed by decades of learning, of trial and error, of understanding what truly matters to you. When you honor this connection, you begin to see wellness not as a checklist or a fleeting goal, but as a dynamic, ongoing relationship with yourself. And that relationship, attentive, curious, compassionate, is what allows you to thrive no matter your age. It's what allows you to move through life with energy, clarity, and resilience, and to experience the joy that comes from living fully and authentically at every stage. Soft but motivating tone, gaze into the camera to connect. So today, I want you to take a small, brave step. Listen to your body. Notice one area where you feel depleted. Ask yourself, what does my body truly need right now? Maybe it's rest, maybe it's movement, maybe it's food that nourishes, or a practice that nurtures your mind. Start there. Explore with curiosity. Biohacking isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about understanding you. Your wellness is personal, your journey is unique, and your stage of life is not a limitation, it's your superpower. Begin today, connect with yourself, listen, adapt, thrive. You owe it to yourself to live fully, fiercely, and intentionally